struggling with creativity. Maybe you're thinking about giving up altogether. Don't worry, you aren't the only creative to have this problem. Writer's block, creative blocks, and now designer's block are not uncommon and seem to be limited to the creative industry. As Oliver Burkeman says, you wouldn't hear an accountant complaining about accountant's block. According to Susan Reynolds, humans seek out easy and mindless jobs, yet creatives are constantly thinking, which will lead to an occasional loss of momentum. This loss of momentum can start us into a downward spiral, which may lead to a partial or a total creative paralysis. Reynolds believes that writer's block or creative block is a myth, mostly because it didn't always exist. The first known case of writer's block was in 1804, when Samuel Taylor Coleridge experienced an indefinite, indescribable terror because he believed he couldn't live up to previous career highlights. It was soon after this that the French latched onto the idea that artists had a tortured soul, and many artists have turned to drugs or alcohol to cope, wallow, or help with inspiration. The list includes some big names such as Van Gogh, Dali, and later Warhol and Cobain. These artists have suffered and resorted to drugs or other crutches, and for some it's become the end. In 1947, Edmund Bergler, a psychoanalyst, defined writer's block, which has now led to all other areas of the creative industry claiming blocks as well. Elizabeth Gilbert believes that all of the problems of creatives come from having too much pressure to create. Her personal research on the topic showed her that ancient artists from Rome and Greece believed in an external creative helper in the form of a genius or a muse who would flit in and out of an artist's life. Gilbert believes that this helps to externalize the pressure on an artist, allowing them to be happy, and that a creative block occurs when the artist shows up to work, but not their muse. The good news for us as modern creatives is that we don't need to resort to drugs, and a block is no longer a life-threatening disease. Once you know the reason why your muse is taking a break, it's possible to get past that wall really quickly. There are many reasons why a block may occur, and I'm going to tell you the main 6 that everyone seems to agree on. Number 1 is the inner critic, that little voice which tells you all the bad outcomes of a project before you even started working. The client won't like it, or it's not worth the money. So ask yourself, why have you decided this when you don't know what someone will say? Number 2 is personal problems. Life gets in the way. Sometimes this can be a big upheaval or a small one, and it's not always in your control. You may need to take time to sort things out, or just block them out and cope until your work is done. Number 3 is being poor, and I don't just mean with money, although that can affect your work too. You may be time poor or poor of knowledge, and the list goes on and on. Working within constraints is part of the creative field and can help a creative to focus. Number 4 is being overwhelmed. Too many commitments, too many ideas, too much pressure, all can lead to a feeling of paralysis about starting or creating. It's time to say no, and it is okay to do so. Number 5 is rejection. This one can cripple the creative because we put so much hard work and part of us into every piece of work we create. Not everyone will like what you make, and growing a thicker skin will help you in life. Number 6 is our work habits. Trying to work around life can make creativity dry up, but knowing what works and what doesn't for you will help. A study from the Department of Psychology at Michigan State showed that morning people are more creative at night, and the opposite is true for night owls. Just remember, you're not alone. The nature of the creative industry is one of uncertainty. If it helps you, start talking to your muse as Gilbert has started doing, and remember to just keep showing up.